You bought a dishwasher sometime in the last 10 years. Maybe you spent $800. Maybe you went up to $1,200 because the salesman at the big box store told you the stainless steel front panel meant quality. You loaded it up, pressed start, and assumed you would get at least a decade out of it. Your parents got 15 years out of theirs. Your grandparents ran a Maytag for 20 years, and the only reason they replaced it was a kitchen renovation. Yours is already making a grinding noise at year 3, and you are standing in your kitchen wondering what you did wrong. You did not do anything wrong. That grinding noise is coming from a plastic pump impeller that is warping under thermal cycling. Inside a plastic pump housing that expands a fraction of a millimeter every time the drain cycle runs hot water through it, driven by a motor that magnetically spins a metal stem inside a polymer shell that was never designed to survive more than 2,000 cycles. The part cost the manufacturer roughly $4 to produce. The repair costs you $250 in labor, plus a $95 diagnostic fee just to have a technician confirm what you already suspected. And when he opens it up, he is going to tell you the same thing he tells 10 other homeowners that week. It is not worth fixing. That is not a defect. That is the business model. Today, we are breaking down the 4 engineering decisions that turn the dishwasher from a 20-year kitchen appliance into a 5-year disposable machine, the specific brands and parts responsible, and the one manufacturer that still builds them the way your grandparents' dishwasher was built. Pay attention to the 3rd failure point, because that is the one that is actively catching fire in kitchens across the country, and has already triggered multiple class action lawsuits you were never told about. The first engineering crime is the pump. Open up a dishwasher from the early 1990s, and you will find a circulation pump with a metal impeller, a cast iron or heavy steel housing, and a motor with copper windings that could run for 15,000 hours before showing wear. That pump pushed water at high pressure through stainless steel spray arms with enough force to strip baked-on grease off a cast iron skillet. It was heavy, it was loud by modern standards, and it worked for 2 decades without intervention. Open up a Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, or GE dishwasher manufactured after 2015, and you will find a pump assembly made almost entirely of engineered polymer. The wash impeller is plastic. The drain impeller is plastic. The housing is plastic. The seal between the pump and the motor is a rubber gasket rated for a fraction of the thermal cycles it will actually endure in daily operation. The motor magnetically drives a metal stem inside that plastic housing, and over time, the housing expands from repeated heat exposure. That expansion allows the stem to vibrate against the polymer walls. The vibration accelerates wear on the impeller fins. The worn impeller chews through the rubber seal, and that compromised seal is what starts the slow leak that will eventually flood your kitchen floor at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday while you are asleep upstairs. Repair technicians have a name for this sequence. They call it cascade failure. One compromised $4 component triggers a chain of damage through every adjacent part. The manufacturer calls it cost optimization. The marketing team calls it innovation. I call it a design that guarantees your return to the appliance showroom within 5 to 7 years. Credit card in hand, buying the exact same machine with the exact same plastic pump from the exact same manufacturer who just profited from your last one dying on schedule. And the pump failure is only half the story. The second failure is the tub itself. A stainless steel dishwasher tub resists corrosion from detergent chemicals. It retains heat from the wash cycle, which means dishes dry faster and more completely without a secondary heating element running up your electric bill. It absorbs sound vibration from the spray arms and the pump motor, which is why older dishwashers were quieter than you remember. And a stainless steel tub can survive 15 to 20 years of daily use without cracking, discoloring, or warping at the seams. It costs the manufacturer roughly $40 more to produce than a plastic alternative, so they stopped using it in most of their product lines. Walk into any big box appliance store today and look at every dishwasher priced under $900. The overwhelming majority of them have polypropylene tubs, plastic, the same broad category of thermoplastic polymer they use for yogurt containers and disposable takeout lids. These tubs yellow and stain after 2 years of high heat sanitized cycles. They scratch from normal dish rack movement as you load and unload plates every evening. They absorb food odors deep into the polymer matrix, odors that no amount of vinegar rinse cycles will ever fully remove. And after 7 to 10 years of thermal expansion and contraction, the material degrades enough that microcracks form along the seam joints where the tub meets the door gasket. Those microcracks do not announce themselves. There is no error code. There is no warning light on the control panel. There is only a slow, invisible leak that drips onto your subfloor, your cabinet bases, and your kitchen foundation for months before you notice the warped laminate or smell the mold growing underneath. A $60 plastic tub failing silently beneath your granite countertop can create $35,000 in water damage to your kitchen floor, your cabinetry, and your home's foundation. And by the time you discover it, the manufacturer's 1-year warranty expired 4 years ago. That is the math they are counting on. Cheap components up front, expensive consequences for you on the back end, and zero accountability in between. If you have been following our investigations into the modern appliance industry, you know this pattern repeats across every product category. Hit subscribe because we cover these engineered failures every single week. And the next investigation we are publishing is worse than this one. Now, for the third failure point. This is the one that matters most because this one is not just emptying your wallet. This one is dangerous. The electronic control board. A dishwasher built in 1985 had a mechanical timer. A rotary dial with physical copper contacts that opened and closed circuits in sequence to control the wash, rinse, and drain cycles. That timer was rebuildable. A replacement cost $45. Any appliance technician in the country could diagnose and swap it in 30 minutes with a multimeter, a screwdriver, and a parts catalog. Modern dishwashers from Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, Bosch, and GE have replaced that mechanical timer with touchpad-operated electronic control boards featuring capacitive sensors, LED displays, and microprocessors that manage every function from water fill level to drying fan speed to Wi-Fi connectivity. These boards are built with printed circuit traces, solder joints, and semiconductor chips that are sensitive to 3 things that every dishwasher on Earth produces in abundance: moisture, heat, and steam. LG faced a class action lawsuit filed in California federal court, Wheeler versus LG Electronics, alleging that the control panels in their quad-wash dishwashers were defectively designed to allow moisture penetration. Water seeped into the LED control panel and corroded the internal circuitry. The panel lights blinked randomly. Buttons stopped responding. Machines froze mid-cycle with a tub full of dirty water. LG knew about the problem. They issued a service bulletin to authorized technicians in November 2018, instructing them to apply silicone coating to the edge of the control panel as a moisture barrier. The silicone fix did not work. Consumer complaints continued. Machines kept failing. Replacement panels kept corroding. Whirlpool settled a separate class action covering KitchenAid, Kenmore, and Whirlpool dishwashers manufactured between 2000 and 2006, whose electronic control boards overheated, ignited, and emitted smoke, sparks, and fumes inside the door panel. Hundreds of homeowners across the country reported their dishwashers catching fire. The root cause was inadequate conformal coating on the circuit board traces, meaning bare copper conductors were left exposed to humidity and steam inside a machine that generates both every single cycle. A machine designed to spray hot water was built with an unprotected circuit board mounted inches from the steam. Even Bosch, the brand that positions itself as the premium European option at $1,100 and above, faced a class action in 2024 over control panel labeling that faded and disappeared within 18 months of purchase. The printed lettering on the touchpad buttons wore off so completely that owners could not identify which cycle they were selecting. A $1,100 dishwasher rendered functionally unusable because the manufacturer used printing technology that could not survive the environment it was installed in. A replacement control board for most of these machines runs between $350 and $550, not counting the $95 diagnostic fee and $150 to $200 in labor. For a dishwasher that cost $800 new, that single repair exceeds 50% of the replacement cost. The repair technician will look at you across your kitchen counter and tell you to just buy a new one. That is not his opinion. That is the manufacturer's entire revenue strategy. There is a reason these machines are built this way, and it goes beyond any single component. The appliance industry used to build dishwashers from start to finish in a single factory. One facility controlled the pump, the tub, the motor, the wiring, the assembly, and the quality inspection. That era ended decades ago. Today, the pump comes from one factory in China. The control board comes from another supplier in Southeast Asia. The tub is stamped or molded at a third facility. Components are outsourced to whoever submits the lowest bid. Tolerances are shaved to reduce shipping weight by ounces, because shipping weight is cost, and cost is margin. And when those components arrive at final assembly, nobody is checking whether a plastic pump housing molded at Factory A has the exact dimensional tolerance needed to mate with a motor shaft machined at Factory B. The gaps between parts are smaller than ever. The materials are weaker than ever. And the number of failure points inside a single dishwasher has multiplied. So what do you actually buy? You buy the machine that is still engineered the way dishwashers were engineered before the accountants took over. Miele, German manufactured. Every dishwasher they produce is tested in their factory to simulate 20 years of daily household use. That is 10,000 operational hours of wash cycles, drain cycles, heat cycles, and vibration before the machine ever ships to a showroom. Their circulation pumps use cast iron housings and metal impellers. Their tubs are surgical-grade stainless steel. Their seals and gaskets are commercial grade, the same specification used in restaurant dishwashers that run 15 cycles a day. A new Miele dishwasher costs between $1,500 and $3,500, depending on the model line and features. That sounds expensive until you do the arithmetic that the appliance industry hopes you never bother to do. A $700 plastic tub dishwasher from Samsung or LG that lasts 6 years costs you $116 per year of ownership. Add the control board replacement that statistically hits between year 3 and year 5, another $400 out of pocket, and your real annual cost climbs to $183. A $1,800 Miele that lasts 18 years costs you $100 per year. You are paying less per year for the machine that costs more up front. The cheap dishwasher is the expensive dishwasher. The expensive dishwasher is the cheap dishwasher. That is the trap the modern appliance industry set for you, and most people walk into it 2 or 3 times before they realize the pattern. Stop buying plastic pump dishwashers. Stop trusting brands that mount unprotected circuit boards inside steam-generating machines. Stop rewarding manufacturers who engineer their products to die on a corporate accountant's depreciation schedule. If you want the full breakdown of which appliances are still worth buying across every category, kitchen, laundry, and outdoor, that video is on screen now. We have talked to the repair technicians, we have read the class action filings, and we are not done exposing this industry.